Thing is
My little lady has told us this meeting is being recorded. As most of you know, I've got several plans coming up for the new year. There's lately been a political discussion going on, which I have been doing some digging into. I know most of you aren't interested in politics, but it doesn't make any difference whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or some other political party or no political party at all. This is something that involves every single individual in America, and it is the availability of food. How affordable is it? Everybody's talking about grocery prices and inflation and so forth and so on. With the recent shutdown and the Bureau of Labor statistics being shut down, the consumer price index wasn't figured for a month. But the consumer price index includes a lot of stuff: energy, rent, electricity, all the other things. But food is one of the more important things, and yet it is not singled out. There seems to be a difficulty in finding that food and the affordability of the food. There is some discussion as to whether the figures are being flickered or not. And I think I've come up with a solution, and that is the National Food Affordability Index. And the way it would work would be this: you take the top 10 national grocery chains, you take the northern, southern, easterly, and westerly towns of each of those grocery chains where they have a store. That will give you the cities that their geographic area. Then within each one of those cities, you take the same thing and do the stores located within that city. That gives you four stores per chain times 10 chains times 10 cities. I mean, four cities per. You got 10 chains, so you get four cities. Divide that and then four within that. Here you've got 10 times 4 times 4. That's 160 cities. Okay. Then you have to decide what are the 10 most purchased items sold that you can get from the consumer price index, as I have done it. So you get 10 of those, you'd have 10 items per 10 cities, per 10 stores per city. Then you take and you would get one person to track each store on a weekly basis. They would report back. Sales are normally announced on a Wednesday, so you get that. House brands are usually cheaper than national brands, so you would get that figure. You could combine all of that together and come up with a weekly basket of goods and trace it by week. That would show you the minimum food costs that you could get by with on a weekly basis. for a typical basket of goods. Like I know that there's like natural cheddar cheese is in there, and grapes are in there, and bananas are in there, and potatoes are in there, and uh, ground beef is in there, and bread is in there, and you know. So I may be starting that, in which means I'm going to need a lot of volunteers to do some tracking on a weekly basis. What I would like to do is get a volunteer to track each individual store that of the list that I work up, and each individual would send it to me. They would do their since the sales start on Wednesday, they would do the tracking for sales by house brand for the 10 national store chains because that will give you the cheapest. Now, if you prefer a national brand, you could do your own, but that would at least give you an index of what your actual food costs, how much the inflation rate on food alone would be. That would give, and that's not counting coupons. That's strictly certain details are being worked out, but that's just the idea that I'm thinking of right now. And maybe announcing more about that later. If I do that, that's going to mean I probably will be cutting back on some of my form work that I do in the various Google product forms. Uh, I would probably be dropping some of the forms where I now offer support, but not that much because I'm only ranked as a silver. And that would be probably classrooms, meet, messages, uh, Google business profiles, and search, I believe. That would still leave me. I'd keep my diamond, try and keep my diamonds and platinums. But that's just a thought I was saying. I've been thinking about the last week or so. So I'm going to end this and get it up, and we'll let you know what's happening later. Thanks for watching.